Hello and what is up guys, Rai here and welcome back to some more automation and BeamNG.drive. We are going to be building a truck and it's going to be hopefully as close as we can to a diesel truck or a diesel engine in automation, and of course after it's built we'll go to BeamNG.drive and I want to see if this thing can tow anything, because that's the important question, right? Can we roll coal? I mean, we probably can't roll coal, but we can try. So we got the truck in front of us. It is a mod body, recently came out of the workshop. It's a very great looking mod body and it works great too. I've done some testing with it. So first things first, we need to choose our panel material and choose to build the vehicle itself. So we're going to go with partial aluminum because that's pretty realistic for a 2020 truck. We're going to go for not a monocoque chassis, which I mean, it could happen, I guess, you know, Honda Ridgeline, but you know, we're not going to go for that because it's boring. Ladder chassis. We're going to go for steel chassis material for now. We could go AHS steel, which is a bit lighter, but not right now. Front mounted longitudinal engine, because what else would you really do? And then we'll go for just leaves, front and rear for now. We can go for coils interchangeably. We'll just stick with leaves. I might change it, I might not. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. New project, new engine. We're going to go for a inline 6. We can go for cast. We could go for cast, honestly. 4-valve or 2-valve? Like, we could go for 2-valve, or we can have like a 4-valve. Like, 4-valve is just going to work better. I'm not sure if it's as realistic for a diesel, but it's going to work better. We'll go for aluminum 4-valve diesel because I'm not even sure if that exists, but we're going to go for it anyways. And I want to go for a massive engine, or relatively massive by modern standards, a 7-liter or so inline 6, which is bigger than a Cummins diesel, which is kind of what we're doing here, except just better in every way. If you guys want to see another diesel car or a diesel-like car, I think Automotive Flux made one a while back. I'll link that down below. We're going to go for billet steel, light titanium, and light, no, we're going to go for forged. Just forged, yeah. Forged, billet steel. Some heavy duty. We don't need the revs. We need the strength and power. VVT, do we need VVT? Is that a thing? You know what, we'll have it on. I'm not too sure if it's 100% realistic, but we'll have it on. 0 cam profile, 9.5 to 1 compression. Now, diesels have usually, or they have very high compression ratios. We'll do it as high as we can to a reasonable degree. I'll change it later. For ball bearing turbo, we'll do like a pretty big intercooler. Fuel economy focus to start. That's just our baseline for tuning. Direct injection per cylinder, because it's going to be just the best here. Standard intake. We'll go for, like, now the gas here. We can go for like a really high octane. Maybe, even though this is not realistic because this is gas octane, it's not diesel, but we'll go for that anyways. We want lots of power. We'll go for just like straight through mufflers for now, I guess. So we can rev up to 60 or about 6,000 RPM. Yeah, we'll do 4,000 probably, which is already quite high for a massive diesel. We'll do that for now. High fuel mixture, and just the boost nice and high, about as high as we can go. We're using too much octane. We'll go more on the fuel mixture then, and we're still gaining power. Honestly, this thing is not going to be very efficient, but oh gosh, it's going to be so bad. It's so inefficient. But it's fine. Everything is perfectly fine. We'll go a little higher on the air ratio, maybe. Like right now we're making, it's not really a mountain of torque, but it's actually pretty smooth. It's not enough though, obviously, to do what we want. We will go ahead probably and give it a bigger exhaust. There we go. There's the mountain we're looking for. So already, no, we don't need bypass valves. Okay. Already 625 or so horsepower and 1,100 pound-feet of torque. Torque is at 2,500 RPM, which is kind of actually a little bit high. We're going to go ahead and make the turbine a bit smaller. It's actually a lot smaller. Like, a lot smaller. 2,000. That's not bad. Peak torque at 2,000 RPM is not awful. We'll increase the max boost a little bit because we can still add more boost without... Well, while using... No, we can't add much more. Okay, 34 pounds of boost is not bad. We've got 15 octane to play with. We got 1,100 pounds of torque. That's a lot of torque if you guys are wondering. This is definitely Cummins worthy, I think, so far, power-wise. We'll go ahead and just yoink that compression nice and high. 11.5 to 1, we'll do 11 to 1. That is 1,130, even though we could probably spend it on ignition timing and get more performance out of it, but we'll just do this instead. And a bit higher on the exhaust, 5.25-inch exhaust, using pretty much all of our octane, making 570 horse, which is, that's respectable, and 1,155 pound-feet of torque at 2,000 RPM. And the torque curve, it's not flat like it should be on a diesel engine, but it's, you know, these are gas engines, and this is like, the automation's not perfect. We know. We'll start it up. I just want to hear what it sounds like. Definitely not diesel enough. I think if we do a race intake, it'll sound a bit closer. Like, that sounds a bit closer. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I'll have a louder sound clip later, but... Oh my gosh, the boost. So it doesn't sound as much like a diesel towards the higher revs because it's a race intake and it's just a normal gas engine, but oh my gosh, download sounds pretty good. I'm not a diesel expert or anything, but the amount of boost you can hear, my gosh, is that crazy. We'll keep going for now. We're going to go for a 4-door configuration. Yeah, these tiny tires are not going to do. We'll go for a 4x4 system. Advanced auto, probably like a 9-speed or an 8-speed, whatever's like realistic-ish at the time. The gearing is going to be a bit higher. The speed limiter can go down to like, what, 180 is reasonable. Electric LSD. I'm not sure what differential we'll use for now. I'll stick to electric. I might switch to manual locking, just for off-roading, basically. Off-road tires, even though they're not really that good in BeamNG, we'll use them anyways. And large rims. Now this is going to be basically a Ford Raptor-ish, because it's going to be so massive, the tires at least. The 40 tire diameter. I think these are a little larger than the Raptor tires, not by a ton though. Steel wheels for sure. I actually want to go ahead and like flare with the fenders, so we can do that right now. Nope, not that. There we go, like this. Get just a little bit thicker, you know? Like that, a little bit boxier. Just subtle, very subtle. We'll go ahead and make the wheels spaced out a little more. They got a flare. This is a performance vehicle. It's like a diesel, but it's going to be like an off-road kind of diesel, I think. Solid 6-piston discs, front and rear. Pretty large in the front and fairly large in the rear. Off-road skid tray, please. And a 5-seater is probably fine. Now, this, again, is going to be, you know, a sportier kind of version. It's going to be like a Ford Raptor competitor-ish, but a diesel. So I think a little bit more just like hardcore off-road focus, but it's still gonna have a sports interior because it's gonna be the, you know, the sporty trim, and probably a premium heads-up display, electric variable power steering. It needs launch control because it's got to be quick, and the base safety. Now for springs, there's a couple options. We could go with like an air suspension system, which isn't really used, but it's doable. Like I think Range Rover has an air suspension system. We could use that. I think we will keep that just for like sake of quirkiness, to be honest. It's possible. 80 safety. Whoa, is this thing safe? Absolutely crazy. It's 0 sportiness. It's actually got okay stats. The markets are not liking this thing. So only 60 grand. It tows only 4,000 pounds, but its load capacity is 7,000 pounds. Wow, that's not bad. It pulls no G's at all. It's got a pretty bad part of weight. Wait, how much does it weigh? Oh my gosh, 7,225 pounds. It's a bit heavier than a Raptor, a little bit slower as well. 0 to 60 in the low 7-second range. And we do have more horsepower than a Raptor. What if we add more speed? Now, the one thing I dislike about automation, of course, less speed is way faster, but I dislike how advanced autos are so bad compared to a dual clutch. Because look at that, 6.1 versus 7.5. We got more, 7.1 versus 6.1. So we'll stick to an 8-speed, sure, why not? We can go for semi-slicks too. Yeah, you can even get better. Wait, what if we do this? 70 and a dual clutch. 5.2, that's pretty quick. Oh, we're not going to do that today. We'll go for off-road tires, because this thing's going to be an off-roader. 4 MPG, okay reliability. I think the basics of the truck is there. We're going to go for like AHS steel. Whatever. We'll leave it on leaves for now. I might change it. We'll change the brake bias just a little bit. This thing is pretty front biased, I think, pretty front heavy. We could go for alloy wheels, we could. It's not as realistic for an off-roader, but that's okay. We'll stick with steel, though. I think overall, what's the ride height, actually? Oh, yeah, we want a nice tall ride height, I think. Like that, pretty much a lifted diesel. And this is a truck that you drive if you've got a very small hands. People with small hands would probably drive this truck, I feel like. We're going to design this truck now in a short time lapse. I think I'm going to go for, it's 2020, it's going to be pretty, I don't want it to look like your typical Ford or Chevy, with like a grill in the middle-ish and like headlights in the, I don't know, it's going to be different. We'll see what we do. So I'll design this guy, sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy this quick time-lapse. And we are finally starting the build for my diesel-esque big old American pickup truck. And the first thing I do is lay out the entire front end of the vehicle using reverse dog tape, just to sort of cut out where I want to place my grills, my headlights, etc. So you can see here I do add glow sticks on the far corners of the car, some upside down L shape, to actually lay out the daytime running lights for the car, having a separate top and bottom piece for the actual car's main grille assembly. I then continue working on the layout of the headlights as well, adding some detail here and there, adding the mirrors, And just digging right in, adding a third vent on the top half of the vehicle next to the headlights, and adding some actual headlight projectors inside the housing on the far corners of the vehicle. It is a pretty detailed build. It does take like about 3 hours of building for this one build, so this is sped up quite fast. Just working on a bit of details inside the light now. You can see there's a grille and there's a separate sort of headlight housing there as well. Adding 3 lights to the middle of the vehicle, similar to the F-150 Ford Raptor, and working on a bit of bottom details for the front grille. Onto the back, I'm having a very similar layout of the front onto the back with the sort of upside down L-shaped tail lights. And just adding a few more details here and there, basically making the back end indented into the tailgate, which some trucks have some sort of indentation, whether or not it's the name of the vehicle, etc. That's what they have. Adding a bit of detail into the actual taillights itself, mimicking the front headlights just a bit, but working with some glass, which became a bit difficult to work with, but that's okay. I decided on the name now. It's called the Harriet Raider, and doing so I add the Raider name inside the front upper grille of the vehicle. I'm going to add more detail later on. Tweaking a bit of engine and suspension tuning on the vehicle as well, and then going ahead and tweaking more things, adding some door handles, gas caps, and working on this sort of touchpad on the side of the vehicle, adding a few details here and there on the sides, and then changing the wheels. Changing the color, sticking with this white for now, adding some pretty simple windshield wipers, and now working on a more difficult part was the front bottom section of the bumper, and I do spend a bit of time sort of sitting there thinking about it, what I want to do. I do end up with this sort of skid plate kind of brush push bar at the bottom, similar to a Ford F-150 Raptor again. I'm taking a lot of design from the Raptor as well, because it is an F-150 body, but as well as a vehicle like the Nikola Badger, which is what this truck is sort of based off of. Adding a pretty simple rear end similar to, I think it's like a Chevy kind of rear end system. We have just quad exhaust down at the bottom there. Adding some more light details on the back of the car, making it look just a bit more realistic with, you can see the white and the red individually. Playing around with a few things like colors and stuff, the settings of the vehicle, the tire wheel size, and continuing on with some more details on the sides and the roof of the vehicle as well, adding some more bars and details to the front headlights, adding a Harriet badge on the back, which I end up moving and making quite a bit larger, similar to the front end of the vehicle. We can see here adding a Harriet badge. I'm not too happy with how it turns out, so I do a bit of tweaking to the actual eye of it. And adding some similar bars across in the rear indentation, similar to the front end of the vehicle, adding a few details on the side, which I delete. And then just playing around with a few fixtures here and there. The final product for the car took a lot longer than everything else for the rest of the build. Adding a few details on the roof, and we have finished in front of us the 2020 Harriet Raider diesel pickup truck. Like I said, in front of us is the 2020 Harriet Raider, which is, I guess, almost like a concept truck. You know what, it still is pretty not too futuristic, but it's kind of futuristic. It's different than what is coming out from Ford, Dodge, Chevy, etc. We have this L-shaped LED going on both sides. We have 3 dots, or 3 pretty much. I think they're auxiliary lights, or just, they're lights that the Ford Raptor uses, for example, because the truck's too wide, it's got to have more lights. That's got 2 on the sides as well, like the Raptor has. A pretty simple skid plate or bash bar. Raider lettering in the middle with horizontal bars behind it. We have pretty much a 2 grill setup. We have the primary grill right here. We have another grill up top with, I think, 7 slots. I think it's similar to Jeep actually, but that's okay. We have on the side here another vent as well, and we have the actual main lights right there. We have a little bit of a vent right there with some more lights and some just emptiness, because why not? On the side, it is pretty simple. We got turn signals right there, and right there. Got a keypad I put on the door because that looks kind of cool. And a skid plate, or not a skid plate, we got a running board on the side with Jeep Wrangler wheels because they look still pretty good. I like them. Back, it's similar to the front. Now this is a Harriet vehicle, which means tons of performance. I mean, relative performance, I guess. This is a truck, and big, brutal American design. Which this is a massive car. How can it not be American, really? We have the Harriet lettering. We have a Harriet sort of winged badge on the side with a similar rear end to the front design. And one thing I want to point out, though, this is my favorite part of the car. You might not like it, but this is what I like. So the back end and the front end, the front end's the same as the back. The entire layout is almost an H shape. You can almost see like an H sort of shape We have like one side, we have the middle bar, we have the other side of the H. Because that's the theme of all Harriets, they have H shapes, and you can see it a little worse in the front because the lights are there and there's more stuff there. But yeah, it's an H-shaped front and rear because Harriet likes to use the letter H for designing their cars for some reason. No one knows why. I've got a tow hitch there as well. At the back we got quad exhausts. And now we're going to hop into BeamNG. I tuned the engine a little bit, tuned the whole car a little bit. We have a premium interior now. I think we have the same air suspension. The engine's got a bit of tune onto it. It's got 620 horse, 1,270 pound-feet of torque. So an absolute ton of power. We're going to hop into BeamNG. I think I'll actually just give it... We can give a manual locking diffs just for BeamNG. You know what? We'll leave it on electric LSD. We can go for automatic locking diffs. But you know what? We'll do automatic locking diffs for now. We can do automatic locking, or we can do electric. It's either or is fine, really. We'll hop into BeamNG. I want to see just how much this thing can tow, because it is an absolute tank. Okay guys, so we're finally in BeamNG.drive with the Harrierator. We've got a trailer next to us, and in front of us, we are in a beautiful city obviously, but in front of us actually is a scale. So I want to see first off how much the car actually weighs in BeamNG, because it's not 100% accurate. And for two, when you add a bunch of fixtures like we have, it adds quite a bit of weight to the car. So we're going to test the car. I've got, I think this is 4,200 kilograms of wood in the trailer, so it's like 5,000 whatever pounds, or 5,000 kilograms total-ish, a little less than that, probably 4,500, which is like 10,000 pounds, which is a pretty reasonable towing capacity. I think the top-of-the-line F-Series F100s, or yeah, F-Series pickup trucks can do like 11,000, 12,000 pounds. So we're going to do about that. Now this truck is not about towing capability, because it's just more of a pavement princess kind of vehicle, but we're going to try anyways, so we're in the truck here. We're going to turn off ESC, we never need that on, to be honest. We're just going to sort of drive on the actual scale and see how much we weigh first. And we'll park it here, put the parking brake on. And we can see here, it's a respectable 3,550 kilograms, which is honestly like not even that bad actually. It's only 7,830 or so pounds. I think we weighed 6,900, so we added about 900 or so pounds to the vehicle with the fixtures and the transferring to BeamNG, which isn't perfect. Now the trailer behind us, again, it's got 4,200 kilograms, and we're going to see if we can tow this thing. And then we're going to, of course, do just driving with the trailer hooked up and stuff, so we're going to go back up and we're going to actually hook up and tow it, basically. So 18,000 pounds and climbing. That's a reasonable number. Now we're going to go just for a bit of a drive. Now, can this thing tow it? It does not sound like a diesel at all right now, but that's okay. Actually, it's pretty quick. It's still reasonable. It makes all the power really low, though. We're going to go a little slower. Keep it in 6th, 7th, 8th. It makes all the power pretty low. There's a red light. Oh, gosh. Oh, boy. I'm not sure what's happening back there. We're going to go third person. Ah! Oh, God. We're missing everything. That is not ideal. Can we actually go uphill with this, maybe? We'll try that. So we have a trailer now hooked up to the back yet again. We're gonna go try to go uphill, a bit slower probably this time. We got the same 4,200 kilograms, so like 99,000 pounds. We got another 2,100 kilograms in the box. It's kind of glitched out, but I think it's gonna sit there fine. Again, this is about what, 4,500 pounds or so. So we got a lot of weight. We're gonna go just put it in drive in first gear, probably just sort of real slow. I'm thinking we can go for like the locking differentials and probably a low range, and just sort of like cruise uphill probably. Now this is definitely more than a real truck would probably pull around in the box of the truck, but this is not a real truck, clearly. It's better. Nice and slow, it's doing it. I don't want to go very fast because it's just going to explode probably, and I'm really concerned. It's actually doing pretty good. Oh god, the hitch is connected though, I can assure you it's connected. Oh gosh, that is not a good sign at all. Oh gosh, the trailer is buckling under the weight of this thing. It's scraping in the ground. It's towing it pretty good though. Like I'm only giving it like 10% throttle, not even like we can go way faster, but it's just gonna explode if we do. And we're keeping it where the peak torque pretty much is. It's not bad. You definitely wouldn't use this truck to really tow this much stuff anyways. It's not rated for it for one, and for two, this is definitely again a pavement princess kind of truck. We go a little slower up this hill here. Look at that. That wasn't bad at all. Go to second. Third, we'll just stay in third. Nice low torque. Fourth. Keep around 2,000 RPM or so, which is where all the power is being made. A little faster. A little faster. We'll get some speed up the hill. Come on, can we do it? 7th. Hasn't exploded yet. Come on. We have enough torque. Keep going. 5th. Here we go. Wow, it's actually staying in one piece. Oh god, that's not good. It's overheating too. This is not an ideal truck at all. Oh gosh, we're fishtailing. We're good. We're back at the start now. With more weight than ever before. And it did it pretty well. Let's just see how fast we can go before it all falls apart though. We're overheating. This is great. There goes that. Everything's fine. Piston ring's damaged. It's probably fine. Try to lose that trailer quickly. There we go. We're good. We're good. Everything's fine. Oh gosh. So, I mean, I definitely wouldn't use this truck to tow that much stuff, but it did a pretty good job. Now, I thought we'd finish off just to do a quick off-road course. I mean, by quick, it's not that quick. This is the Jungle Rock Island. This is the Dirt Stage 1. It's a pretty long course. It's kind of narrow, and this truck is anything but narrow. It's absolutely massive, but the Ford Raptor, you know, is supposed to be good for off-roading. And this thing is supposed to be too, I guess, but this thing weighs a lot more than the Ford Raptor, and it is an absolute tank of a vehicle. We're going to hop in and just go for a casual. We're going to lock the diffs right off the bat here, probably. Just go for a bit of a drive, I guess. This thing is very unmaneuverable. It does not like turning at all. We'll just try to keep it in the low revs, I think, if we can, because that's where we make all the power. All the torque, at least, not the horsepower. Almost unreasonably so. This is the kind of car that you drive if your hands are really small, or your feet are really small. And I think a lot of people want that in the car, obviously. Obviously. Go a little quicker here. Bit of braking, a bit of a handbrake turn. Oh, we're fine. We're setting lap times, baby. Come on. Pieces are falling off. The car's actually, the truck's turning to the left just a little bit now. In first. Not too bad so far. We're almost, I think we're getting towards the end, maybe. I have no idea, honestly. We're at 2 minutes already. Yeah, I take it back. It's a longer course than I had anticipated, but we're nearing the end. Well, where do we, oh gosh. It doesn't like to turn now at all. It's driving very not appropriate. Is it this way? Oh boy. There's the finish line. Come on. It's pretty quick though. Look at that. There's 100 kilometers an hour. Just over 2 minutes. Not bad for a 7,600 pound, 7,800 pound tank. This is basically pretty much a semi-truck by any regards. Not bad though. When the truck obviously explodes, we're just gonna like, oh, we'll just crash it here against the wall. I just want to see it explode. Look at it explode. What if we back up? No? We're kind of hooked now. Yeah, there's a lot of fixtures there, and they're all kind of everywhere now. Perfect. I like that, though. That's kind of fun. We're going to finish off here. It was a lot of fun to build this truck. A really, really detailed build today. Hopefully, like, all of them are going to be pretty detailed from the future. Like, you know, more than they were a while back in the past. I'll do a stream probably sometime this week. Another video out this week as well. I apologize. I haven't been as active. I've been kind of sick. I still feel kind of sick, so I apologize. If my voice is not perfect. It's never perfect, let's be honest, guys. Leave a like down below, guys, or else I will try repeatedly. Join the Discord, linked in the description. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think of the Harriet Raider. Link to download it is in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching, I guess. And as always, guys, I'll see you next time.